You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position.
Positive thinking, I've said it over and over again, really is just the power to believe. And as you believe, so is it done unto you. As you believe, so it's created.
One of these principles is the power of a positive attitude. You see, your attitude is one of the most important determinants of your success. Your attitude affects how you approach challenges, how you interact with others.
The positive thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible. Never let a bad situation bring out the worst in you. Choose to stay positive and be the strong person that God created you to be. And in order to carry a positive action, we must develop here a positive vision. A positive attitude gives you power over your circumstances, instead of your circumstances having power over you. If we train ourselves to look at everything in life with a positive attitude, we will find that life is not as bad as we think it is. We can make our world a better place to live in. Hence, it is important to keep a positive mindset and outlook on life. You need to make the commitment not to indulge in self-talk that's counterproductive to successful speeches and presentations, or to turn that thought on its head. Use positive thinking and get your army of constructive thoughts marching in the same direction straight toward your goal.
If God is operating up there, it's because you gave him permission. You allowed him in. It's a very, listen to me, it's not a magic trick, man. If you want to be successful, you have to get control of this. Like I was telling her earlier, look, you can eradicate negative thinking from your life. Now, it's not going to say you're not going to ever have a negative thought. That's not human. I have them, but I don't have them nowhere near as frequent as I used to because I learned what they are, how they work. I get rid of them. I don't have time for you. I'm on a positive track. I got things I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to be successful and I'm trying to be happy. If you're trying to be successful or happy, you have no room for negativity.
Basic as that is, and as well as you know it, you've got to make it a habit. Because those habits form the chain of your ultimate character, of who you become and how you end up living your life. We've got to condition ourselves, because if we don't, we'll go back to the automatic state that most people live in today's society. The way to develop the habit is to go on a mental diet. I did this several years ago. As positive as I was, and I was going through unbelievable pain at the time. I'd had some major disappointments, some frustrations. I felt like I'd given it all. But what turned me around is one day I picked up this book called The 7-Day Mental Diet. It was a little tiny little booklet. And all the booklet really did was, for about 12 of the 14 pages, it challenged me to really see if I could really truly, for 7 days, live my life without one negative thought.
The mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. Can you imagine dumping a barrel of trash into this mental factory every day and coming out with a rich, dynamic, positive life? It can't be done. You decide what goes into your mental factory. Don't let anybody just dump anything they want to in your mental factory, because you've got to live with the result.
Gratitude is when you are thankful for each and everything in your life. If you are looking for something good or beneficial in a person or situation, you will always find it. Rather than getting upset and blaming someone else for what has happened. Resolve today to learn how to develop positive thinking and a positive attitude towards yourself, the people around you, and your life. The best way to train your mind to think positive is when a negative event occurs. Remember that it's your response that truly determines the outcome. Always look for the positive response or optimistic lesson when such events take place. You may in fact be doing quite well, but you spoil your success by creating a negative reality. Then you reinforce your belief that you'll do badly through self-criticism. Instead, being disappointed and losing energy, use your negative thoughts to drive you for success.
The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale and The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. You know what it does? It just teaches you how this works. Once you get this, y'all, you can change everything. Do you understand? Negativity, let me just give you this and I'm gonna walk away. Negativity, you can protect yourself from negativity. And that's what stops most people, negative thoughts. You can coat your mind from negativity. It's a real simple exercise to do. I do it every morning before I walk out the door. So I walk out as a positive person. You know, I get tired sometimes. That's different from being negative because I get mentally drained from my job at times. But to coat your mind from negativity, the way you can put a coating around your mind is with one simple thing. gratitude. Gratitude erases negativity.
And she feels joyous and excited because she went through the steps. That's the balance between positive and negative thinking. But one thing you got to remember, you're going to spend most of your time being positive. Once you see how it is, that's it. Decide what you want and make it happen. Don't keep going back and saying, oh yeah, but it's not working. See, balance doesn't mean you spend 50% of your time positive and 50% of the time negative. Remember, balance on a human scale is a little different. Negative experiences are dense, and it doesn't take a lot of those focuses of negative to weigh a lot in your life. Make sure your focus is primarily positive, but at times, at special times that you designate, you're going to say, hey, what isn't working? And allow that pain to drive you to do something that's very positive. That'll change your life.
Negative is not to be ignored. Negative is very real. As soon as you've planted the garden, the busy bugs and the noxious weeds are out to take it all. We have two things going for us in our human experience. Here's one, opportunity, and here's number two, the threat to the opportunity. So we deal with both of these twin scenarios in life, opportunity and the threat. Now, the threat to opportunity we call the negative side of life. Number one, it's normal, meaning it's a part of the life experience. Number two, it's not to be ignored.
The mind is everything, what you think you become. Life is 10% what happens to us, and 90% how we react to it. But if keep your face always towards the sunshine and shadows will fall behind you. Positive thinking is reinforced by thoughts such as optimism, hope, and belief that hard work is never wasted. A positive mind anticipates happiness, health, joy, and a successful outcome of every situation and action, and works wonders like magic. Positive thinking does not mean you ignore reality or take light of the unresolved problems. It merely means that you approach the good and the bad situations in life with the expectation that things will fall into place.
Listen, getting successful, whatever you consider successful, if it's rich, whatever, it's not a magic trick. It's not God picks certain people he'll make rich and certain people he don't. He gives all of us as his children the power of choice. You have a say-so in that. You can decide to be rich, and with God's help, it's highly doable. But you first have to think it. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is here. I'm no better than none of y'all. I'm not a better person than you. I'm not a better Christian than you. God don't love me more than you. None of that. If you want to be successful, you have to change this. This has to change.
But you know what? I thought, wait a second. I can be positive about solutions. I can still notice that there's some challenges out there without being negative about it. I can look at the challenges and say, okay, here's what's good about this. Here's how we can use this. Here's how we can turn this thing around and continue to focus on that. So I took on the challenge for 7 days, changed my life. Now, by the way, one of the keys is you have to have 7 straight days of being absolutely positive. Not one negative thought, not one negative expression that you hold on to. Got to let go of it immediately. If you do not do this, if you're 3 days into it and you do well, and then you have a bunch of negativity, you got to start over. And you know what? After you go about 4, 5, 6 days in a row doing really well, something major negative is going to happen. How's that for some positive programming? But what it is a test to see how committed you really are. I'll tell you something. After 7 days, you feel like a different person. People around you respond to you like you're different as well. All you want to do is establish the habit of noticing what you do have instead of what you don't have. Noticing what's great about a situation versus what's not great. Focusing on solution instead of problems. That's what changes your life.
Death seems to want to move in prematurely and get us. So to have a good, long, flourishing life, what do you have to do? Push back, push back, push back, push back. Now, if you don't push it back, it pushes you back. There's a push-shove going on here, and it's this negative, positive stuff. Would there be light without darkness? It doesn't seem like it. One suggests the other. Would there be success without failure? Well, I don't think so. You wouldn't call it success. You'd have to call it something else. It's the twin scenario that makes life interesting, fascinating, wondrous.
You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude toward what happens to you. And in that, you will be mastering change rather than allowing it to master you. If you found the video entertaining, give it a big thumb up and subscribe to the channel.